We have to have the guidance, the direction, and correction of Almighty Yahweh around us every moment of every day. It is so easy for us to get sidetracked if we don't stay focused. And staying focused means understanding some of the things that we read and we quote, we don't understand the full meaning of it. But I want you to know that from the beginning, the most important thing to the Father was to be faithful, loyal, and obedient. That's the things that He demanded of the Israelites when He brought them out of Egypt. But it seemed that man was incapable as a whole of taking control of his carnal nature and letting the Father be in control. The Father, quite contrary to what people say and think, I believe, the Father has not been surprised by any of this. The Father is not surprised by human behavior or human nature. He's not caught off guard. Satan hadn't pulled some kind of trick on him that he wasn't aware of. Almighty Yahweh is almighty. He is sovereign. He is king. He is our Savior. And He has set it up that we could spend eternity with Him. And He loves and desires to be with you that much that He gave His only begotten Son, the only begotten Son, to suffer through all the things that He suffered through, that you could be redeemed. So we're going to start tonight at Jeremiah 7:22 through 23. For I did not speak to your fathers or command them in the day that I brought them out of the land of Egypt, concerning burnt offerings or sacrifices. But this is what I commanded them, saying, Obey my voice, and I will be your sovereign, and you shall be my people, and walk in all the ways that I have commanded, that it might be well with you. Now, as I read that scripture, there's some things that comes to my mind and my heart. One of the things it is said, obey my voice and I will be your sovereign. There is a condition there. If you are not obeying His voice, He is not your sovereign. Hello? We need to seek to know what the Father's desires are for us and obey His voice, obey His commandments. And I fear today that much of the traditional church is missing it altogether, because they're saying that the law has been done away with. It's no longer has any accountability to it, that it's been done away with, that Yeshua came and did away with it. Never mind the fact that He said, do not think that I came to destroy the law. I came not to destroy, but to fulfill. Not one dot nor tittle will be done away with until heaven and earth passes away. Now that is plain. That is plainly spoken. There is no new way to serve Almighty Yahweh. You serve Him the same way He's been served all these years. Only you do it in sincerity and truth. By the Ruach HaKodesh, Almighty Yahweh looked at mankind. He knew that mankind was not going to be able to fulfill all that He had set for him to fulfill without the Ruach HaKodesh. And He could not put the Ruach HaKodesh in an unclean vessel. He had to cleanse that vessel before He could put the Ruach HaKodesh in it. That's why when people come and make a confession and shake the preacher's hand and go on living the way they lived before, they're absent of the Ruach HaKodesh. You think the Father's going to put His Ruach HaKodesh in an unclean vessel? That's the reason you see people that are Christians that are living like they don't even know what the Christianity is all about. They don't even know what the Father is all about. We need to know that we've been touched by the Father's Son, Yeshua HaMashiach. We have been cleansed. And because we have been cleansed, He has put His Ruach HaKodesh in us. He has empowered us. He has not given us something to do that we are not able to do. He gave us the ability to do it before He commanded us to do it. He gave us the ability. He filled us with the Ruach HaKodesh. He empowered us with the Ruach HaKodesh. And He's given us power over all the power of the enemy. And nothing by no means can harm us. The Father has protected us. He has protected us. He said, I did not speak to you about offerings or sacrifices and this and that. What I spoke to you about was obeying my voice and agreeing that I would be your sovereign. If you obeyed my voice, I would be your sovereign, and you shall be my people, and walk in all the ways that I have commanded you, and it will be well with you. I made a contract with Israel. I made a contract with them that if they would obey my voice and walk in my ways, that I would be their sovereign, I would be their king, and I would bless them, and it would be well with them if they would obey me. Jeremiah 7:24. Yet they did not obey me, nor incline their ear, but followed the counsel and the dictates of their evil hearts, and went backward and not forward. I mean, we look at the history of the church even. Say, take it from the church age. The church, when it was formed, when it came together and all the disciples were imitating Yeshua. That's what they called them to begin with, Mashiach imitators. Mashiach imitators. That's what they referred to them as, Mashiach imitators, because they were living as Yeshua lived. They were copying Him. They were doing what they were supposed to do. Caesar Constantine could not handle that. He wanted to be the utmost of attention. He wanted to be the utmost one to be able to command, to give orders, and everybody obey him and follow him. So Constantine took and moderated over the Council of Nicaea. He was the moderator. And they determined the whole doctrine of the Trinity. They determined the whole doctrine of the Trinity and said, if you don't believe in the Trinity, if you don't believe, and they didn't use the word Trinity, but they used the word that Yeshua was God, and if you didn't believe that, then you were anathema. People, we've had 2,000 years trying to get past this and get back into the truth. Do you realize what a miracle it is today that there are people that are seeking to go back to the commandments of Almighty Yahweh and walk in obedience to Him? What a miracle that is. Almighty Yahweh has opened our eyes. What a blessing that is, that He has opened our eyes to let us see, and He has softened our hearts to let us understand that we need to walk in His way. It's not just joining a club, it's walking in the way that He has set forth before us. He said, but they would not hear. I can't tell you how many people, and I believe that they are good people. They're nice people, and they're doing what they think they ought to do to be a Christian. But I can't tell you how many people I talk to, and it seems like they just turn you off. But that's not important, how many people turn you off. What's important is how many people receive. Yeshua left the 99 and went out for the one that was lost. We need to be reaching out to the lost. Whosoever will drop all the church doctrines, all the different idiosyncrasies, and seek the Father to walk in His way. We need to understand that the Father has set forth a beautiful path for us. And that you look at yourself and you think, well, I can't do this, I can't do that. You can do anything that the Father sets forth for you to do. He has equipped you. He did not send you to do something that you are not capable of doing. You say, well, I don't have that personality. It's not your personality that wins people over. It's Yeshua's personality that wins people over. We need to diminish and let Him be exalted. We need to get our eyes off of ourselves and get it on Him. If we can take our eyes off of what's going on with us right now and what's happening to us right now and get it on what we should be doing, what we ought to be doing, what the Father wants us to do. Let me tell you something. If the Father wants you to do something and you know He was wanting you to do something and you're not doing it, you are in rebellion and disobedience. I don't care how small it is. Nothing is small that the Father wants you to do. It's not small. It's big. It's big. And we need to be focused on His ability and not our ability. Our ability falls short. But He said, you wouldn't hear me. You wouldn't listen to me. You wouldn't follow me. Jeremiah 7:25 through 26. Since the day that your fathers came out of the land of Egypt until this day, I have even sent to you all of my servants, the prophets, daily rising up early and sending them. Yet they did not obey me or incline their ear, but stiffened their neck. They did worse than their fathers. He said, I sent prophets to you. I have sent you and give you every kind of an advantage that you could possibly think of. Every encouragement, every instruction, every direction to follow my commandments and to walk in my commandments. And I didn't ask you to do that for nothing. I told you that if you would walk in my commandments and obey me, I would be your sovereign and you would be my people and it would be well with you. I'm setting a prize up before you. I'm not asking you to serve me for nothing. I'm setting a prize up before you. While you're here on earth, it will be well with you, and you will inherit and you will accomplish, and it will be well with you. But whenever you leave this earth, you're going to spend eternity with me. What a contract! We ought to be so wrapped up into that, looking so forward to the time that we can be in His presence, that our focus would be on Him day and night. Day and night. Since the day that your fathers came out of the land of Egypt until this day, I have instructed you, I've corrected you, I've sent you prophets to tell you what was going to happen if you didn't do things and you ignored me, and then the destruction come upon you. And you wanted to blame me for the destruction coming upon you. I told you what was going to happen. The Father has told us today what's going to happen if we don't walk in obedience and submission to Him. If we don't walk in the Ruach HaKodesh, He has told us today what is going to happen to us. And yet it seems like people have a hard time grasping that that's really going to happen. People look at the history of the Bible over and over and over and over and over again. When He told them destruction was going to come, it came. When He tells us that there's going to be wars and rumors of wars at the end of time, it's coming. When He tells you that everyone whose name is not written in the Lamb's book of life is going to worship after the beast, it will happen. You better not just take for granted that your name's written in the Lamb's book of life and just walk any your way. You better walk in submission to Almighty Yahweh, loving Him, keeping His commandments, His statutes, keeping His oracles, His Kadosh days, serving Him in sincerity and in truth. We have a contract with the sovereign of all heaven and earth. We have a contract with him. And he's not like men that you make contracts with today that look for a way to break them. He's wanting to fulfill that contract in your life and in the lives of others. His desire is to fulfill that contract with this generation. And this generation has to get serious about him. It has to get ready to serve him in sincerity and truth. You know, the truth is the Father wants you to be so dedicated and committed to him that if you were stranded on a deserted island and you were the only one there, that you would keep his Sabbath, you would keep his Kadosh days, you would honor him, you would follow his dietary laws, and you would follow the commandments of Yahweh. If there was no one there to see you but him, because your relationship is with him. My relationship is with Almighty Yahweh. Of course, I have a relationship with each one of you, but the relationship that matters is the relationship I have with Almighty Yahweh. You know, when I draw my last breath, it's not going to matter what y'all think about me. What's going to matter is what Almighty Yahweh knows about me. And I have to live in such a manner that I am worthy of his grace and mercy, that I seek to please him in everything that I say and do. I know that we have too many times failed. Probably each and every one of us can look back and see places where we have failed and fallen short and have missed the mark. Blessed be the grace of Almighty Yahweh that cleanses us from all sin through Yeshua HaMashiach, his precious Son. Because none of us are worthy without Yeshua, without the forgiveness of our transgressions. There's none of us that's worthy. Matthew 21, 33 through 39. Here another parable. There was a certain landowner who planted a vineyard and set a hedge around it, dug a wine press in it, and built a tower. And he leased it to a vine dresser and went into a far country. Now, when the vintage time drew near, he sent his servants to the vine dresser that they might receive its fruit. And the vine dresser took the servants and beat one, killed one, and stoned another. Again, he sent other servants, more than the first, and they did likewise to them. Then, last of all, he sent his son to them, saying, "They will respect my son." But when the vine dressers saw the son, they said among themselves, "This is the heir. Come, let us kill him and seize his inheritance." So they took him and cast him out of the vineyard and killed him. Now listen to what Yeshua's saying here. He's saying this is the heart of the people that do not know him and do not know the Father, who have not been converted. Those who are trying to get there by another way, they're trying to rob, steal, and destroy, and take what does not belong to them and what is not rightfully theirs, according to the contract. They want to violate the contract. They want to violate all the stipulations of the contract and yet still make it. The Father has not set that up. And let me tell you, anybody that tells you that you can walk around living after the flesh, walking in sin, and that you can make heaven your home, they are telling you a lie. They are teaching a lie. Almighty Yahweh said, if you obey me, that it might be well, that it might be well with you. Might means permission. You have the ability and the authority to give the Father permission to give you all of the benefits of the contract. You have the decision to make. It's not just a decision to accept Yeshua in your life. It's a decision to accept Yeshua in your life and to walk even as he walked every day of your life. Walk in a manner that's pleasing to Almighty Yahweh, that you might inherit the goodness and the mercy and the compassion that Almighty Yahweh has for you. You have been given the ability, you have been given the authority, you have been given the power by the Ruach HaKodesh, and you have to fulfill it. You have to fulfill it. You can't just join the club and say, well, I've joined the club, so I've got the right to be there. No. Whenever you will not live and walk the way Yeshua walked, when you will not do that, then you are just the same as stoning and beating him. You are just the same as stoning and beating him. All the soldiers mocked him. And, oh, you're the king. You're the king. Go with me to Matthew 21:40. And we're going to read to 41. Therefore, when the owner of the vineyard comes, what will he do to those vine dressers? They said to him, he will destroy those wicked men miserably and lease his vineyard to other vine dressers, who will render to him the fruits in their servants. We need to understand. Everybody talks about Yeshua's coming again. Yeshua's coming again. He is. He is. But it's not going to be a happy time for everybody. There are people on this earth that it's going to be the saddest day of their life. Their life is going to be over. And it's going to be determined how they're going to spend their eternity. And it's not going to be happy. The Father's not going to be intimidated. And he hadn't got any favorites. He's just, honorable, righteous, and true. And he is so faithful to you. He has given you everything you need to serve him. He's given you knowledge. He's given you scripture. He's given you the Ruach HaKodesh and to lead and guide you. And he gave you Yeshua HaMashiach to pay the price for your transgressions, that you could be cleansed from sin and be made white, be acceptable to him, to be able to walk in him, free of sin. That's what he has done. And I think sometimes believers forget how far the Father's brought them. And they take for granted some of the benefits that the Father has promised. And we have no right to take for granted. It's by His mercy, His grace, and His compassion that He's given it to us. We need to understand. We need to understand that He can't be intimidated. He can't be bribed. You know, He is just, true, and honorable. Matthew 21:43. Therefore I say to you, the kingdom of Yahweh will be taken from you and given to another people, bearing the fruits of it. Talking about the Gentiles coming in. And Israel's going to be made up of Gentiles and Hebrews. It's not going to be just Hebrews. It's not going to be just Gentiles. It's going to be Hebrews and Gentiles, those who love the Father, who serve Him, who will obey Him, who will walk in fellowship with Him. Matthew 21:42. Yeshua said to them, have you never read in the Scriptures, the stone which the builders rejected has become the chief cornerstone? This was Almighty Yahweh's doing, and it was marvelous in our eyes. The stone that Israel rejected, the chief cornerstone, was Yeshua. And even though the Catholic Church wants you to think that Yeshua said He's going to build His church on the Peter, the first pope, supposedly, that's a bunch of baloney. Right here it tells you what the stone is that He's going to build His church on. That stone is Yeshua HaMashiach. He is the cornerstone. We need to understand it's not about church doctrines, church traditions. It's about our contract and covenant with Almighty Yahweh. Matthew 22:11. But when the king came to see the guests, he saw a man there who did not have a wedding garment. So he said to him, friend, how did you come in here without a wedding garment? And he was speechless. Then the king said to the servants, bind him hand and foot, and take him away, and cast him into outer darkness. There will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. When you come there, it don't matter. It don't matter, like Yeshua said, it don't matter if you've done all those good works, you know, if you cast out demons and this, that, and the other. And if you aren't in Him, if you have not put on the wedding garment, which is Yeshua HaMashiach, then, you know, bless the Father's Kadosh name, you're going to be cast out. Because Yeshua is the only garment that will get you through that gate. It's the only garment that will let you enjoy the wedding feast. The only one. There is no other garment, no church doctrine. You know, you can put on all the church doctrines you want to. And when you come before Him, He's going to say, hey, whoa, wait, how come you in here without a wedding garment on? We need to know. We need to know that Yeshua is the one who decides. And He decides by your sincerity, your submission, your obedience and the love of Yahweh. He is the Son of Yahweh, the Messiah, the one who takes away the sins. We have a choice, and we live in a time of great temptation because all the world is caught up in insincerity, hypocrisy, and very few seek to please the Father in sincerity and truth. We have to walk in a manner that's pleasing to Almighty Yahweh. We have to. There's no other way to make it. We have to walk in obedience to Him. And we cannot just do what's good enough. We have to do the very best we can. The Father's the one that's given us the ability. We have to do the best we can, using our ability to serve Him. The Father loves us and has equipped us to do the work that He has called us to do. Now it is up to us to submit to His hand and complete the tasks that He's given us. There is a town here that we're in that's walking in darkness. Walking in darkness. And we have to bring the light forth. I challenge you tonight to be in prayer. And then put feet to your prayers. Put feet to your prayers. There's a story that I've told in years past. There was this lady that had a bar right across the street from her bedroom window, and the light was flashing all time. And she had a black lady that was a maid for her, and she said to the black lady, Liza says, I know that you pray. Says, I wish you would pray for that bar to burn down. It's just so annoying to me. I want you to pray that the bar would burn down. And so the next morning, the lady got up, and there wasn't nothing but ashes out there. And she told her, I said, Liza says, man, I said, your prayer works. She said, yes, ma'am. I believe in putting feet to my prayers. So we need to put feet to our prayers. Pray and then do something the best we can to fulfill them. Do you love Him tonight? You know, yeah. But we love the Father and we want to please Him in all that we say and do.